From coaches to casuals, grassroots to the league, this is Open Gym. I'm Coach Q.
Coach T, who I be.
Coach way too nice, baby.
A quick icebreaker. Again, a bunch of coaches on the couch in which we've all went through different versions of our coaching journey.
Yeah.
So just an icebreaker question. What is some things or what is something that as a coach didn't come natural to you? A part of the game as a coach that you had to grow into. Talk to me, fellas.
I would say, for the most part, really managing your emotions throughout the game. You know, and it's not a good or a bad thing, but, you know, it's also learning how to detach your emotions from what's going on so you can actually lead and have those follow. You know, if you're an emotional and rowdy coach, you're going to have an emotional and rowdy team. So you have a team that may complain a lot. You have a team that always looking for fouls and everything like that, but you have that mentality of, you know, next play mentality, just being grounded, not even worrying about that. You know, it takes a lot to get to that point, especially when you start coaching directly from playing. You know, because you still have that competitive nature that you feel like your energy or your emotion can affect the game even when you're not playing it. So I think that's one thing for me. It took some time to grow into, you know, but I've also felt like having that compassion and emotion also helped me be the coach that I was for the players that needed me at that time too, though. But even so, then it was a growth period of getting past that part of where, you know, displaying the more emotion, but displaying more effort, more energy into the team, coaching the team, you know, getting them geared for what's going on in the moment, how to get through the ups and downs of the game itself. So that's one of the things I felt like I had to grow into, and I feel like you're going to always continue to grow in something like that as you mature in the game anyway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, you know, even we see coaches like even Pop lose it every once in a while. It's like, you know, you see, you know, Calipari, he may lose it. You know, the best of the best do it. Izzo, he may lose it, but at the same time, it's how they manage the game throughout.
Izzo gonna lose it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna lose it, bro.
Yeah, he gonna.
I mean, it's like expected for him to lose it, but at the same time, it's also a control in how he does it. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're from the outside looking in. It may not make sense to us. We're probably looking like, bro, I know bro ain't gonna respond to that, but you know, we know also, like I know also, you looking outside in from what I was doing, it's like, you know, you may think, oh man, this boy is probably crazy and undisciplined, but then you come and see how we are.
Right.
So, but you know, putting it all together is like you have to grow emotionally in the game for more than anything else and be able to control that part of the game.
Yeah.
Trey, talk to us.
I would say that I had to learn that you couldn't coach every kid the same. Like when I came into it and how I was showed and, you know, seeing guys do what they do, I tried to take that approach with every kid.
Yeah.
And then you would lose kids. So you got to know which kids you can do it with, and then which kids you might have to pull him to the side and say, hey, you know, that wasn't right. You can't cuss him out like the other one because the other one is used to that. He might have a dad around him. He's built for it. So his dad might really discipline him and teach him, but the other kid might not have a father figure around. You know, he's a mama's boy, but then you get at him and then he just ball up. Like, I ain't used to that. So I had to learn how to be able to talk to every one of them. And one kid that broke me, shout out to Isaiah. I heard he's 6'4" now. He don't even play basketball no more. He hated it. But when I started the program, his dad just wanted him to do it. And that's where I kind of grasped, like, I can't talk to him how I talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Isaiah shut all the way down. I'm like, everybody get online. Isaiah, you better pick it up. You better run fast. And he just looked at me like, okay, you ain't my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and 2 years in though, Isaiah started to get better, you know, and his dad said, you know, in the other little leagues that he would play in, he would display that and made me happy as a coach. But I learned how to speak his language. Yeah. And then speak the other players' language.
Yeah.
And then secondly, just substitutions. knowing when players are tired. You might be fussing at them, and in their mind, they thinking they're moving, but you got to sit them, and let them get some, get some rest while you bring somebody else in, and just learning when the player is tired, get another one in to kind of do the job that you want. So substitute. Yeah.
No, I dig it. And I guess to go along, mine is probably going to be close to what you just said. Rotations was not something that came really natural to me. And that's one of the things when I think back that I wish that I could have done a little bit better, just because of when you're coaching, you can get so locked into the actual game.
Yeah.
And it'd be key substitutions that when you first started, you'd be like, damn, if I'd have just switched here with that, or, looking at how they was matching up with there and made this adjustment, let alone trying to make sure that at that time, all the kids got in. And again, we talked last week about sometimes your kid might not play, but it do be tough as a coach sometimes if you didn't travel to Alabama and that kid didn't play, and you'd be like, damn, like I still wish I could have found a minute or two for that kid inside a moment that wasn't as crucial. But at times, especially if like you're the only coach on the sideline, that becomes like its own thing. It's a little different when you do have like an assistant, because then you can start delegating that and it becomes a little bit easier. But I know for me, rotations was definitely one of the things.
And talking on rotations, that's a good one. Like that's something that you brought up. Like I seen that some kids conflict with kids that you may think that's a starting five. So it's good to kind of mix and match and see who works with who and who don't, because you could have a court full of alphas and they all clashing. And you ain't getting no ball moving. You ain't getting and then one kid might not want to pass the other kid the ball because he's like, shoot, I'm the man. So, you can take that kid and bring him in off the bench behind him, not just because he's better, but when he comes in, he provide a spark. He better coming off the bench, giving you a spark instead of starting. You know, so that rotation piece, that's good.
In which I guess this kind of leads to a segue in this conversation that I think would be good. I think a lot of times when you hear like the casuals talk about good coaching, a lot of times it can simply be them talking about the rotations or something like that, that the coach is doing. Or when you see like young parents and they just see a rowdy coach on the sideline that's just yelling a lot, they might take that as good coaching. What are some, I guess, as you can kind of rattle them off, give at least one or two, what are some underrated and overrated signs of good and bad coaching?
I would say one of the underrated signs is game management. Being able to, just watch a game and see a coach who can, either be up or down and finish that game off on a high note. And, just watching them, either versus how they have a set for each moment, or, and their players are responsive to it, and it's not anything out of the norm for them. I love to see a team that, in spite of what's going on in high intensity of the game, the crowd's going crazy, that they're able to execute efficiently. It was a championship game a few years ago on the conference championship where bucket was made.
This is on the girls' side?
Yeah, on the girls' side. Bucket was made, while one team was kind of celebrating, the other team literally got the ball out, boom, pitch, shot, game. And it was like,
what just happened?
The other team, everybody was like, what just happened? But you can tell they practiced. They were prepared for that moment. So just poised in the moment. So game management, seeing how the players respond in spite of whatever's going on, bad calls, do they pout? Do they just respond and say, next play? Do they help each other up? Some of those things that you can tell just from the players itself, not even looking at the coach, we can tell by the players how they respond and just act in the moment. if they're well coached. And I mean, that's a sign of a good coach. But also, just like I say, game management. End of a game, how you using your timeouts? What plays are you calling? Are you going offense, defense? Are your players prepared to be in that moment and respond to everything you're giving them?
Yeah.
So, those are some of the I think underrated things. I think some of the overrated things would be, I'm not going to say it can really be overrated, but sometimes, just the blessing of having, an abundance of talent can
talk about that
later. Can oversee things. But I think even with that is like, I feel like even with an abundance of talent, you have to have a structure to that as well.
Yeah.
So
there's a talent in coaching, good talent as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
But it could also hold. It can hide bad coaching.
Yeah.
So it's a seesaw.
Yeah. And even with, we can even go down another list with that other side of it too. Because what's considered that, but even with being, I hate to say anything could be overrated when you're exploring being a good coach. You know what I mean? Because it's a skill within itself. So you can't really have an overrated skill to coach well. But like I say, there are some things that can be overlooked.
Just like, and when I say that, I'm meaning like outside looking in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, things that can get overlooked as far as the preparation that goes into it. So I would say outside looking in, you're like, oh, that coach is having an abundance of talent. Well, nah, but you got to see what goes on behind the scenes, the conditioning, the getting the program, having everyone buy into the system, those type things you don't see from the outside looking in, though.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm really keen on looking at game management, looking at how players respond to their coaches as well. In the moment itself.
I'd say a overrated sign is when you see that you said it in the beginning. It's like when you see that hoorah coach that do a lot of that just fussing and yelling as the game is going on. And then he'll even take it to the point where he'll call a timeout and make them all do push-ups in front of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's an overrated sign. Like that guy 9 times out of 10 just learned the diamond defense and how it worked. And he really don't know how to coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't knocking nobody because like you said, Wayne, you said something key. In the coaching community, I try to support all my brothers.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
it's hard enough. It's hard enough.
And we got to support each other. But I've seen guys that have a following or people think, oh, he the man because the jerseys look good. All that look good.
Yeah.
And the name sound good. But they love when he call a timeout and everybody get down and get pushed. That look, man, that ain't what you said was key. When that team made the bucket, they got it out, pitch, shot.
Game.
That coach practiced that. That's an underrated sign. That shows they go over it and he know what he's doing. But when a guy just crack the whip on guys and just make them do push-ups, that's not a good coach. All right, guys. So, that's my overrated sign, man. Underrated, I would say, like, guys that know how to manage, like you said, like just seeing guys that really know how to prepare. Like they start out, like you said, they might have a set that they go, then that coach that they're playing might be good. And he called a timeout and he adjusts and put a wrinkle in the set.
Oh, yeah.
And you like, oh, shit. Like they was hedging and he slipped and boom, there it go. Like, damn, like he went in and he knew what they was going to do and he adjusted to their adjustment.
Yeah. I mean, in-game adjustments are definitely key when you're talking about game management. Cause like you're saying, as you're coaching the game, you're also observing it.
Yeah.
And you're also observing tendencies that you see.
Yeah.
So like you say, it may be when this person's in the game, they don't ever get to the nail. They don't help side. So I know this person's going to hug. So if we run this play, I know it's not going to be any help side. I can clear that side out, throw the lob over. Those are type things that you say, like you wrinkles in the plays that you already have. Mm-hmm. But, once again, it goes back to your players being able to execute it in the moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's pivotal, man. Like that's a skill to be able to, literally engage when your coach is talking and he has your attention and you're able to execute when it means the most. But to you, it's just like another player in the park or another player at practice. You know what I mean? So things like that, like you said, just piggyback on all those things like that. Those in-game adjustments are also a telltale sign.
And also for y'all watching that adjustment don't happen unless you got kids that shout out to the dads and moms that watch the film with the kids and help build the IQ where these kids can follow what the coach is doing. It's not always the coach's fault. So coaches, don't think that we bashing y'all. Sometimes it be the kids that y'all dealt. Kids, y'all need to watch film. You know what I'm saying? So you can execute, that coach get on the board and draw it up. I always tell my guys when I used to train, I would train in a certain method. And I tell them why I'm doing it, because I'm like, if you can follow this, and this that I told you to do, when your coach draw the play up, you should be able to follow that. If you can't follow me, then you gonna fail when that coach draw up something for you. No. Yeah. So, like, shout out to the coaches that, that know what they're doing, and shout out to the parents too that's, helping these kids with a basketball IQ. Some of them have none of it.
And so I guess as I can, I'm gonna try and sprinkle in parts of questions that people had in the comments as it deals with where we're at inside the conversation. So I know we did talk about rotation and time management. This was a question from Johnny from the reel that we had about setting expectations with parents. And everybody might not play. Well, he said, why have players on the team if they're not good enough to play at that level? Told him we was going to respond to it, fellas.
Hey, look, you do the honors. Drum roll.
Well, I mean, it's a twofold. You know what I mean? Like you're always looking for the best out of a player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're going to have a player that may not all around be at the elite level of some of the other kids on the team or on that circuit or whatever it may be, but also it's also within the coaching and the recruitment and the development of a player that you're able to see things in the player that can benefit the team as well.
Yeah.
So, the question is why are those kids around? You know what I mean? Yeah. But the answer to that be like, well, yeah, he's my best rebounder. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's my leader, so it's finding the best things.
But I think he's talking about if that kid don't play at all that game.
You can't base it off of one game.
And it kind of goes what you're saying, like, you said before, it's like, as a coach, especially when you're coaching AAU, and this is more so what I feel like this is more pertaining to, because, when you talking about school ball, it's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming this is more so about an AAU, because you're talking about more of elite, having a conglomerate of elite athletes together, playing together. So
I'm going to try and let me see if I can find it on here.
See, it's going to be competitive. Every kid might not play. In the games that we are blowing the team out, if we get one of those games, your kid will play. But if we're in a game where, it's neck and neck, or we down by 5 the whole game, your kid might not play. Hey, look, we're going to Tennessee.
All right. Trey.
Like I was saying, Johnny, shout out to you for chiming in. My question would be, are you saying like we shouldn't have that kid on the team at all? Or, are you just in general asking, well, why even have the kid on the team? And like Wayne said, the kid may be a good rebounder, or the kid may be a good 3-point shooter. And me and Q have said on previous episodes, Johnny, that sometimes these dads think these kids are better than what they are. We're just going to call a spade, right? So he feels like his kid should belong on his team. And then you get in these games, or you might give him a chance in a game before that, prior to it being neck and neck, and the kid can't produce. Now, he might have moments. He might play better against lesser competition. And then when we get to that game where it's a little stiff and the ones is competing, he might not get to play. You can't base one scenario or one game off of the kid is playing in the other games. He might not play in this game, but then, it might be value in having him because he is a good kid, and he does have, he might have the intangibles. He might be a kid that listen good, can, apply what you tell him, but just for that moment, he ain't good for you. So
I'll run you a couple comments under his shout out Coach Lloyd. Coach Lloyd said, money or the mama baddie.
Hey, and I was gonna say that, but I ain't want to say. I was gonna say insurance, but in some programs he might be insurance. But look, man, all jokes aside, it happens, guys. You know what I'm saying?
But I will say to kind of get to the point of that though is what I have noticed is to answer this question far as like now, knowing what I do know, I would probably only keep about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, and thinking to the point of that 10th, maybe that player that like we said, that's developing. And really, I'm really shooting that out there like you can get like the video kind of start off by saying it's like, yeah, we about to travel, but I mean, might not play, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you're welcome to come along. That may be an opportunity though, but at the same time, you know, you see how we're rocking. It's more so of an 8-man rotation. You know, we're trying to, and I've had times where parents have reached out. Well, I just want my son to just come and practice with y'all, just kind of get used to being around.
Well, sometimes
around competition.
Sometimes them kids, though, some of those kids understand, and they really just want to be around their friends for that.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially like the kids that ride along with coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They kind of understand their placement. But it's more so like they're around their brothers of sorts.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be another one. But I think you're hitting on the head what he's asking, which is why not just shorten it to an 8, maybe 9 player rotation, where you're only taking the best of the best players that's going to play, to where you don't have to worry about that letdown. And
that's why you had that conversation, Q. That's why I said you sit down. And I would have the meeting before that. And I'm saying, hey, this tournament is different. Your son normally play. This one is different. You know, you can't base it off of, and I don't think Johnny's doing that, but I want to clear it up so everybody that's viewing knows, like, it sometimes it may be deliberate depending on what program you go to. But outside of what I was doing, it wasn't deliberate. You know, it might be that kid don't play because it's what we trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
And I think something else that's important is, and maybe this goes into the underrated / overrated parts of running a program / like if you're at the young enough AAU level, as a coach, you kind of set your schedule.
Yeah.
And like setting the schedule inside a strategic way where I know with Grind for 2 years, we did national tournaments, so we might have did like 4 of those or something like that. But we also did some 1 days where you knew that you was going to kind of win by a lot, and everybody was going to play. You do like a lot of local ones to where everybody gets to play. And truthfully, I had like 1 or 2 kids that really never traveled with us. And like, I think they parents, like, truthfully, their parents would always come up with, like, I'm sick or I'm this.
They knew,
but they kind of understood, and they knew. And I think that's you know, something to pay attention to is how you set up your schedule to where even if like you're playing these elite tournaments, that's cool. Make sure that you set up, and this is, let me rewind a little bit. So with AAU or travel ball in general, the elephant in the room is the money aspect. Like it's money for like reserving venues to practice at. There's money for how much these tournaments cost. And unless you're an elite team, you got to pay all of these. Or like you're under a venue, like a Carolina Courts or something like that. So all of these cost money over the span of a season. 7 months. How that's paid for is through dues. So I know with the organizations that I've been with, there was pretty much a set amount that kind of had to be paid if you're going to practice once a week or twice a week. And then if you're going to play in a certain amount of tournaments. With that said, there's a space where having a certain amount of kids does make sense to have an actual season. Without having to be out there in the corner fundraising every single weekend, doing a bunch of different things. And where I think that if laid out properly for your parents and you schedule your tournaments the correct way, it can be beneficial for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is a space where if you take that model and as what's not a B team but not an elite team,
Right.
like if you're like one of those middle of the road teams, like it can be beneficial where you can travel to some elite things, but you can also play a lot of local things. Everybody kind of gets to eat and everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
The tough part would be if you are one of those teams that's in the middle, but you also try to just play in elite tournaments.
Yeah.
Then those kids ain't never playing.
Oh,
and then like them parents is getting kind of like hit over the head for money that
money grab.
It's a money grab. And to me, like that's when it's a little nasty.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes to what Johnny's point is. It's like when you're on the elite level, you should only be caring about 8 kids anyway. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I say, it's good to have maybe 2 more to come to help practice, get some 5-on-5 in, but you know, maybe they're just.
And then let those float between the B team.
Yeah, let them float between the B team or even maybe another team, but you know, they may practice with you. But but to Johnny's point, I mean, you're right to a certain extent. When you get to the elite level, you do have to crack down the whip and just stop. You know, you have to cut down the friendships. You got to cut down. You know, man. You know, I like the kid, man. You know, he's working hard. You know, I want to reward him by letting him go play and get a lot of minutes somewhere else, versus you know, kind of putting him as a crutch and even though he may be developing practice wise or getting better with his individual game, he's unable to really, or he or she's unable to really help the team out at this moment. So in a sense, you really have to cut it down at an elite level to really have I mean, you see some of the better teams, even in EYBL, you know, they're only playing 8 players. They maybe brought 9 or 10 with them total. Because that travel is expensive. We talk about when you're paying.
Hey, look.
Yes, sir.
Speaking on that, we put the first team we played last year in Adidas, the MDC, Atlanta Express.
Oh, yeah.
We only seen 5 kids. I already knew what time it was.
Oh, yeah. You already know.
I said, oh, we finna get out.
And they all can go.
Oh, they all, bro. The kids didn't miss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were ready to go, bro.
Yeah, man. I thought we was turning the corner. We was producing and getting better and climbing. And we went down there and it was like, oh. Yeah. 5 kids. And then
they probably had 8 total.
No,
but, you know,
the rest of them showed up Sunday. They didn't even need 10 to beat us. Look, I ain't got no pride on it. We're going to talk about this stuff.
Nah, I mean,
because this is what people want to hear. Yeah,
it goes down,
5 kids beat us. I'm like, man, you know. So shout out to the, you know what I'm saying, them coaches, though, that, you know, that do what Wayne's saying. Like, you know, they hold 8 kids. You know, and they might invite some out. And then shout out to the dads that understand you got something to still be like, hey, I want to do it. Yeah. So, you know, we'll make the trips and, you know, you be up front with them. It won't be nasty. Like you said, it won't be a messy situation if you just telling them, like I said, lay the law down. Hey, this is what it is. And you avoid a lot. I learned that early on. Program directors, lay it down and you avoid a lot of messy stuff.
Yeah. Well, communication in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that keeps a lot of things in check.
Yeah.
All right. Fellas, I think that this is probably a natural segue for us to get into maybe like the title topic of this episode, politics. So I think that maybe Wayne, you alluded to like it gets to a point where you have to kind of let go of some of those relationships.
Yeah.
From when you first start AAU all the way through like the entire, I don't know, journey of it as a parent, as a kid, even through high school, we could probably even talk about it inside the NBA. It's this word that's thrown out a lot, politics. Like it's a lot of politics to that team or that program or, you know, that school
in general. Yeah.
And I guess I'll toss it to y'all first to ask y'all. So when people say politics, what are they talking about?
I think that can cover several different things when you talk about politics. You know, it can be just, you know, a need to feature a certain type of brand.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a need to not want to feature a certain kind of brand. You know, it could be a need of a certain type of player. or not having a certain type of player. So there's a lot of politics that go. I mean, the word politic can really be an umbrella for a lot of different things that really, touch a lot of different subjects when it comes to, the sport itself, the program, or the team, or anything of that nature. So I feel like when they say politics, I feel like it's more so opinions.
Yeah.
I think really more so politics really kind of align themselves with the opinions of a lot of people and how they view things, or how they view things should be or should not be.
Right.
So I think the politics is a word that kind of is used to kind of cover up for what really is an opinion, or how someone feels things should go in their favor, or how things did not go in their favor. So it has to be some kind of term that's used. And, politics is a word that we look at as somewhat corrupt on the surface of, and the totality of it, what it is. When you talk about the world of politics, we all, we look at it from a place of it being skewed, where things are not always on the up and up. There's some things behind the scenes that we don't know about that we feel like that are happening. And I feel like that's what is alluded to when you're talking about politics for a team or a program, or even the sport itself or organization. Is like, there are some hidden objectives that we don't know that we feel like that are going on. So we're going to consider that as that's a politic against my son. So there's politics involved.
Yeah.
Where really it's just, different things are being done to cater to a certain crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is what it is. That's a part of the game. That's a part of what we see, and to categorize it as politics, I mean, it is what it is. But I feel like that's what, from my view, I feel like that's what the word politics kind of is being used for within programs and the sport itself when people are talking about politics.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you and disagree.
Yeah.
I say the word is used loosely.
Yeah.
I will say that. But just being someone that's neutral with a lot of parties, you hear the politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll speak on it, and I ain't gonna get too deep because I don't want to ruffle feathers. And again, this podcast ain't to have guys feeling a certain type of way about me, nor you, nor Q. I'll say that first and foremost. So we're not on here talking about things to ruffle feathers and have guys looking at us sideways.
Quick PSA to go to what Trey is saying. No comment or commentary about anything that we talk about in this podcast is directed towards any program that we are associated with.
Any program.
Or any of our kids, anything like that.
Right.
That's in essence what he's saying.
Right.
Right. Like we'll give outside observations, and typically it'll be inside the form of compliments.
Yeah.
To a bunch of different versions of organizations, but I think that we try and all stay away from doing anything to be messy at all.
Right.
This is kind of a podcast that is based around promoting positives in general.
Right.
So even inside this conversation right here, like we're not naming names or being vague, but we'll be vague, but we're also not directly talking about any programs that we are associated with.
Right.
And
I'm glad you chimed in. And this is the thing. This is what's wrong with our people. We can't sit down and just politic. We can't sit here and talk about it and just be men about it. We know it happens, and it does. And then, like Wayne, on the flip side, sometimes it don't happen. Some people just be entitled and feel like this should happen for their son, and this so it works both ways. That's why I said I agree and disagree. Now, because I've been in situations, I've gotten phone calls, kids that's played with me, that's been at places and say, hey, I seen the dad only coaching and his son get all the minutes, and it happens. That stuff happens, guys. And what we're doing is just shedding light on it, talking about it. People want to hear about it. That's what we're gonna do. Don't shoot the messenger. We're gonna be open about it, talk about these things. But politics is out there. I've seen it. Like I said, I've heard it. And I just think, to be honest, just like with anything else, like it's something that is magnified because, again, as a lot of times people it rubbed people the wrong way. But I share personally what I even tell mine. If I feel like he ran into that, or if he feels like look, man, life is hard. Like ain't nothing gonna be given to you. Show whomever why you deserve what you think you should get. To have that conversation with your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that he might run to me and be like, "Oh, Dad, do something about it." But these kids get discouraged, you know, if they hear certain things. The coach may say something to them, and they get discouraged, and they'll come home and they're supposed to talk to you about it. And my response is, "Hey, man, you know, what are you doing? How did you look at practice? You know, do you make layups when you take them? Do you miss them where you leave room for him to say something? If you missing threes that you take, if you shooting 3 and you miss you don't make none, like you are adding on to the point he's making on why he telling you not to shoot it."
No, you're right.
You get what I'm saying? So that you know, be mindful of that. Parents is, you know, with this politics word, is your kid really putting in work and earning, or is it just deliberate? And sometimes it could be deliberate because it could be a territorial school. You know what I'm saying? And then now you got a streamline. They might have a pipeline where it go from middle school to high school, and then it goes on to this. And then parents might not know that. So, you know, like, and this school set up like that. So
yeah. And I guess my initial kind of like chime in would be so generally speaking, the world is based around politics. That's geopolitical. That's here inside America. It'll be kind of foolish to think that basketball also wouldn't fall prey to politics. Politics is life. It's a struggle for resources. So I think obviously politics is real within basketball. And I think that at the earliest ages, you kind of want it not to exist. And the unfortunate truth is that as you go through the game, like you see so much of life is based on relationships. That's how you get your job.
Or fraternities.
Advance inside their jobs. It's through relationships, and you know what I mean, the confidence built within relationships. Same does apply in basketball, where at certain stages, these certain things do start to kick in. How early it starts just is kind of dependent. But once there does become money involved, let's start, say, sneakers. And for example, there's like you're on a sneaker team and they're promoting a specific kid. Whether he's playing good or not, he's going to kind of get a certain amount of time, attention, and posts. Is that politics? Yes. But that is also just the way the game works. And it's kind of understood. And you can kind of be a part of that or not be a part of it. That's just your choice as an informed parent, coach, program runner, fan of the game, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, like I said, to me, my initial thing is that politics exists across the board. If you are fighting, quote unquote, politics, to me, as the kid, I tell them, well, if there's, to what you were saying, if there's room for question, then that just is what it is. You have to make things undeniable. If it's not undeniable, then politics can play. When it's undeniable, it's just undeniable. And
then you can fight that, Q. You get what I'm saying? If it's undeniable, then, but I'll say this. Now, all in all, I'll say this. I know people personally that will go the extra route to, okay, well, I'll play the political game. I'll find a situation where I know where my son can play, where I know he can do the X, Y, Z, and they make it work for them. You get what I'm saying? So if you feel like that, you know, I mean, I'm not telling you to run. I'm not telling the parent to run by all means, but if you run into that, I've seen situations where that dad say, hey, I go here and I know my kid to get this. I mean, he's not wrong for that, because I know a couple kids that just going up, you know, just when we was talking about the positions in the game, right? And how coaches will take a big kid and just stick them in the middle, right? Well, I know a kid personally, couple of them where they dads was like kind of talked about because, oh, he jumps around. No, he wasn't stupid. He didn't want his son to be a center. His son is in college now and he a guard. He understood that. So he played the game. He didn't play the game y'all want to play, and then you want to make him sound like he's the he wasn't stupid.
And I guess there is another side of the politic conversation that you kind of introduced where we do get on programs and coaches for the politics side of it. But then there's also the side that as parents, we can also be playing where whether it's like you jump around from organization to organization, you're just doing what's best for the interests of your kid, as you just kind of explained. But it's all its own delicate dance of back and forth.
Right.
And where understanding, you know what I mean, like where you fit in within it. And yeah, to me, like I said, I started off kind of wanting to, and I've like went away from situations because of what I perceived as politics before. Right. But I think that as you continue going through the process of basketball, at no matter what level, you have to recognize that this is a part of it.
Yeah.
Even when it comes down to choosing a circuit, choosing a coach, choosing a program, a lot of like what offers has gotten is off of that program director, that coach's mouthpiece. When he's talking to these different, college assistant coaches or coaches XYZ.
He's tapped in.
Those are politics.
Like you said, he might be tapped in too.
Right, but but then it's no longer about skill.
Yeah,
it's about connections. And connections and relationships is what we describe as politics.
Yeah.
Wayne, talk to us.
Well, no, that's what I was kind of alluding to is like, we've labeled it politics, more than anything else though. But I guess it's like the only word we've been left to kind of call it though. Yeah. But that's politics and everything we're gonna do.
Yeah.
It all depends on what politics you want to play.
Right.
And are you willing to, play politics? Participate in the politics yourself. You know what I mean? And play the game because within what it's all boiled down to, a program is looking to, in a sense, help a kid, but they also building themselves up as well. Yeah. I mean, the kid is also using that program to put themselves on a stage that allows them to display their skills and everything like that as well. So I mean, call it the politics, call it the game itself. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like any game, there's the street game, the basketball game, all kind of games. You know what I mean? But it's how you play it, bro.
You gonna cross something.
Hey,
like you said, you in the street, you might get robbed, you might get shot at.
The game is cutting. The game is raw, baby.
Right.
The game is raw. You got to play it that way.
Yeah.
And again, where I would say, like a solution to like the politics, and I've been learning this again. I'm a first time parent going through the cycle, where go where you're wanted.
Yeah.
If you're going where you're wanted, at least when these things are happening, you're a valued piece inside what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's the best that I can say. More times than not, politics is going to hit you harder when you're not somewhere where they value you as much as you want to be valued.
Okay. And I'd say this, just to just give my last piece on it.
Oh no, we ain't quite done with the topic.
Okay.
We gonna
okay.
Shout out one of our Instagram followers, where this was a question that they commented, but they did want us to address AAU in high school and if there was like the politics between those two.
Yeah.
Or if there were different politics. So I would want to completely answer the question, but
okay. Yeah. No, what I was gonna say is just short. Okay. My thing is if we gonna throw this P word out, guys, as a community, this big P word, look at it on both sides, like I said.
Okay.
To Wayne. Don't try to use it as politics. If it ain't going your way,
don't use it to use it against you.
Yeah. Use it. Okay. Just because don't be mad at, let's say the parent understands the game and then he moves. Well, don't be mad at that parent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So parents don't try to get mad because it ain't going your way. But on the flip side, parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be mad at the parents if he find a better situation and it works to his advantage.
So would you say that parents not get mad if politics get in the way of their kids' ability to play?
Well, I'm saying like don't get mad. Like we know that if we know that politics is in it, all right, and it's something that's inevitable. Okay. Hey, look, man, if it don't work, let's not blame them, because like he said something very like, it was spot on. Yeah, profound. Like some programs have to get behind kids and showcase kids. All right. And that's politics in itself. All right. If your kid don't fit in that program, don't be mad if that kid is good enough and that dad say, well, forget it, I'm going over here. Hey, he playing to his advantage. Yeah. So just let's be neutral about the word politics. Don't be mad at, this program because they got something to withhold and they got to stay at this standard. But program, don't be mad at this parent for going to find another situation that didn't work for his kid.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. I mean, but, also it has to be a common ground with everyone playing the victim, like you said. It's too many, playing the victim of the politics. But at the same time, though, you have to, it has to be an understanding on both sides. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where, it doesn't look as if, the politics are being placed upon just one or two or three or this right here, But I mean, like I say, that started with, a lot of politics are perceptions.
Right.
Perceptions and opinions of how people feel like things should go or should not go in regards to themselves or their child or where a program is moving or anything of that nature. So,
yeah,
and it's crazy. I feel like and it may have been politics back in the day when we played, which I'm sure it was politics though, but it's like with social media and so much access to everything and the ability to see more than anything right now, I think things are being more magnified as to what, the politics of the game.
Right.
Because, things we didn't see and we know we couldn't really have to deal with.
Right.
We just played the game as what it was, understood. Like as a freshman, I may not play that much on varsity. My game allows me to be here and compete though, but at the same time, that politics
might not get as many touches.
Yeah. So, but that's just those were known politics and how we were able to navigate them, within itself without having to be a problem. Like I can imagine, some parents back in the day, having some complaints, but I also know some parents that just, hey, gotta work harder.
Yeah,
they took the the Jordan mom approach. Hey, well, son, you ain't good enough. You got to get back and get good. So you have those parents that know how to play the game. You have other parents that, well, it's only like that because they like this person better than like you.
You got that mother that they'll take advantage of the word.
Yeah,
that's why I said it's a double-edged sword. Yeah. Like you can't just look at it one way.
So I guess let's see how we can address this. A lot of times when people speak about politics, you alluded to one part of it where there's a player that has a certain amount of status to him, a certain amount of name, attention, XYZ, where showcasing this player could be beneficial for a program. And then there's also the place where there's relationships and relationships with whether it's the program, the coach, XYZ, gets in the way of like playing quote unquote who's better. Is there, and again, we don't have to get into like naming specific instances. Do y'all ever or have y'all ever seen either instance of those things happen?
Yes.
To where it was like a clear it was clear politics involved when it came down to either one of those two, relationships or showcasing.
Like you mentioned, like you might have the dad of the player that's cool with the coach. They could have played together. That's a situation.
Yeah.
People don't want to talk about that, but that's a situation. And it happens. Like, and all I'm saying is I like to look at things optimistic and be on both sides. I don't like to look at things one way. Just don't be mad if they don't stick around. If he see it and it's a part of the game, don't be mad at that player or that dad or whomever when it happened, if they don't stick around, like, I mean, it's there, it happens. It ain't every situation. We just speaking hypothetically, but I've heard it, I've seen it. I mean, I know a couple coaches now that coach their son. Hell, we just watched Prime coach Shador at a collegiate level. Daddy ball of all. I mean, no matter how people want to look at it, it's daddy ball.
No matter how Shador did.
Yeah,
he was gonna start it.
Yeah, man, come on, man. Like, so I mean, at the end, and I'm not hating. Like, I mean, we just talking, but I mean, we seen it. It happens if it happens there, it happens. You know, we seen Doc make a way for Austin. Like Austin is good, and I'm not taking nothing away from Austin because he came to Duke, but like he made it to the league and he just wasn't it.
Nah, you had the Clippers players actually allude to like that summer was like, yo, we needed some help.
Yeah.
This motherfucker went out and got Austin.
We ain't got his son.
We got his son. Like
yo, bro,
we was gonna say today,
bro. We needed a small forward, bro. You ain't got
a guard.
You ain't got a combo guard. Nah, but to actually say like, I mean, I've actually experienced politics.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I remember my first year when I got to school, it was like, you know, I was supposed to red shirt.
Yeah.
But I had, you know, basically played my way into not red shirt. You know what I mean? So, but I remember coach came to me, he was like, yeah, bro, he's playing like a little showcase joint.
Yeah.
The 2 game back to back. He's like, hey, bro, the first game, you ain't suiting up. I gotta play the player that we gave the money to.
Mm.
It's like, oh.
Right. Like, damn, that
shit real.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
but I'm better than him. I'm doing a little bit. Yeah,
man, I was on attack mode.
Hey, let's call it what it is.
Hey,
you was better than him. You should have been
attack mode, bro. I mean, I was older. I had transferred in from Juco, so I had a little bit more experience.
When he said line it up, I was busting his ass.
What? Yeah. What number you want? What number he got? Oh, let's play for that.
Oh yeah, we
I gotta get that.
You might not eat today.
You might not eat today, bro. Like, but I mean, but to experience that and know, like, you know, that it was funny because when he told me, it made me realize that this is real life.
Yeah.
It's real life. You know what I mean? It made me go harder more than anything else, realizing that, you know, I was basically, you know, playing with one hand, you know, fighting with one hand behind my back. But at the same time, it made me want to fight harder. So, you know, politics in general, when you experience it or you're going through it, is you gotta attack it. You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as, you know, kind of alluding to your point you were making, like what's a way kind of to, you know, resolve it?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just got to put your head down and baby, just work. You know, just put that work in.
I think it's one of them things you'll never resolve it because it's going to always be looked at as you're going to have a victim, like you said, and then you're going to have mud that stand up.
But
say,
I think there's a two-way to that as well, because I mean, just speaking from experience wise, it eventually showed. It was like, okay, I got to figure out a way to make sure I'm playing Wayne. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those teams, like he's working hard. I see him in the gym. When he gets in the game, he may play 4 minutes, but them 4 minutes are pluses. Yeah. You know what I mean? It may be, you know, he dove on the floor, offense flowed for those minutes, you know. So, and that's why I say you really kind of, and not every situation is going to work out that way.
No.
But at the same time, I feel like you definitely have to attack it head on before you can actually not attack it, you know, or basically kind of move on from it. Because, I mean, of course, it may come a point where you have to remove yourself from the situation and find something better for you.
Right.
But there's going to be other politics in that next situation you move to as well.
Yeah.
So,
and I look at like what you just said. I look at this.
Yeah.
Right. If you move and then it work out, it wasn't you. But if you move, you got to point the finger at you now. You got to look. You got to look in the mirror and say, "Is it me?"
But I guess another question would be, what is considered as it working out when you do move? Yeah. Because I mean, it also depends on what kind of situation you go to. Do you stay parallel to where you were at? Do you go down to where you're more featured to cater to what you were missing? Right. Do you go up and learn how to play and run into more politics, but you may be on a higher level? So it's kind of levels to what's considered as it being better. You know what I mean? Because what being better may be, you know, look good on paper. I mean, may look good for me. I said, but he he was only playing 18 minutes there. He's only averaged 9 points. He left there. Now he averaging 37.
Yeah.
But bro, he played, in the charter community. He played against the homeschool kids. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's levels to what we're talking about, maybe the resolution or maybe doing better, because better may not always be best for the kid in the long term.
Yeah.
So you can be biblical with it and be like, man, you endure, but you come through it, bro. You know what I mean?
And
so
that's why I say look at it both ways. Don't feast it on, hey, look, man, it ain't working. I mean, shit, look at it on both ends. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And I guess if I throw in my hat of like a solution for quote unquote the politics thing, I think really the real solution in my mind is transparency. That's whether it's with parent, like as a parent or as a coach or as a program. If there is transparency, then everything's up front to where you can either accept it or not accept it. It's very similar to like the meme that you said, where you set the expectation, hey, this is no different than with a team. It's important to solidify roles, especially once you get into like the high school role high school area, and it's a long season. Like you can work your way out of this role, work your way into it, XYZ. But here's the roles that we're starting off with, so that there's some level of expectation and understanding.
Right.
I think that where people could get upset at would be if there's not transparency. If these things do already exist, where hey, this kid is guaranteed to do this because of this is the value that they bring to this program, and XYZ. I think that you give parents a choice. Again, if you a parent and your idea is, I need my son to play this amount, take this much, or I'm going to find another situation for him. That coach is his. He be like, he ain't worth it, or be like, he gonna get that.
Yeah. And
to me, that's where you avoid so much of the conflict. So much of the conflict is just not communicating.
Because not to cut you off, but in a sense, if that was to be a question of, and I can imagine on a high school level, you have to start looking at things now in preparation for college. And when I say that, mean like, what type of access do you feel like you're going to have to that college coach? You know what I mean? And not saying it may not be none, but just in a general sense of, your child may call and complain about things that may not be going as they feel like in their favor at the moment.
But daddy can't come up there. That's why I said
with that, and also just putting.
That's why you gotta teach them kids, advocate for yourself.
Advocate for yourself,
but
but also learning how to compete within the politics of things. You're like we're going back to the whole politic word. Like I guess that's the over umbrella term that we can use for everything now. But I mean it's really just levels to everything. It's the adversity that you're going to go through with anything in life, and especially with the game of basketball and football and any other sport. Especially a team sport.
Getting a job.
So getting a job, everything like that. All that. So it's preparing your child to understand that, there are going to be some unfavorable moments. There are going to be some things that may not go in your favor at a time. But, you got to keep working.
Don't run from them all.
Run
them, but don't run from them all.
Well, and necessarily
not. And then this is also a truth, I guess, to make sure that we don't avoid. There are some situations that aren't the best for a specific kid.
Yeah.
And it's okay to go away from that situation and find one that does fit.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where it's like it's okay. Like you can read the room and see if this works for you. And that's where I go back to just find out where you're wanted and valued. Whether you think that that's a step up, step down, whatever. To where the development of your kid is put first. So if you think that you're in a situation where your kid is not developing, I don't think whether you call it politics and that's the reason why, or you just don't think like you think he's stagnant or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that if there's an issue with moving on in that scenario.
Yeah.
I guess that just want to make sure I put that in before we kind of like completely close off the idea of like moving away means that you're just quitting, if that makes sense. There's certain situations that make sense and certain ones that don't, but there's also a lot of parents, and I guess I have to make this caveat when making this point. Yeah. There's a lot of parents that run from the adversity. Like, thank God inside high school, kids can't transfer mid-season.
Oh man,
he will be out like this.
And sadly they can, but it's more a lot to it than just.
Well, like that.
Yeah,
like
they're extenuating situations, but
like you got to go out of state and then go probably to like it's a lot of things that happen. But generally speaking, it's not like AAU where you'll see a kid in a month run down 3 different teams.
Like it has to be funny with Mayor Hoops. You see about 4 different versions of a team.
Well, it's EYBL still too.
Yeah.
Hell, I think
up to like the 3rd session, and even so then I've seen some changes made.
I'm about to say then with EYBL, and it's kids who team didn't make Peach Jam, and then they played on different circuits for their championships and which nationals, I guess you would say. You see it all over. That I don't even think that stops until you get college is the same now with the transfer portal. Coaches complaining. What Miami coach just retired because he said, "I'm tired of the politics of it."
Yeah,
the like negotiating
Tony
with my
Bennett did too.
He said, "We just was at the Final Four,
and I lost
and
8 players.
of my players came and told me that they going to the transfer portal."
Yep,
that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, and then that is tough. But then as a coach, we got to still look at, damn, why you lose all those players? Was it something? Was it something that?
Hold on. All right, turn your mic this way.
No. The mic itself to you.
Oh, like this.
No, all right. So move the mic out this. Helps my way. Yeah, now just turn it this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you good.
Yeah.
You paid.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
What I was saying is, I mean, to lose that many kids now, again, it's like, damn, what wasn't I doing as a coach? To lose that many. You're gonna have some that leave, right? Yeah. But to lose that many.
But I think what he was alluding to, the politics was just, how can I compete with all these kids about to go leave and go get the bag?
Yeah.
I can't give a top 8 kids the bag that they may get individually, or get the, things they may get somewhere else individually. But so now I got to compete with that, and that's hard to do within itself.
Right. But then how I would combat that. I ain't mean to talk over.
Oh, no, you good.
But it's like, okay, let's look at the UConn coach. He ain't complaining about that shit.
He ain't losing no players like that.
Yeah,
either.
but I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, whatever he's doing, guys ain't leaving. So you got to kind of still look at. You still got to kind of look at. Okay, yeah, you was just here.
I mean, he's had a few guys leave, but not to that.
Not like that, bro. 8 kids. Come on, bro. That's like, damn, that could be your core. Yeah, and you got to start from scratch.
Right, but I guess that ends up being the tough part where. And maybe this is like a segue to speak about how like politics across the board, kind of like it changes. Like it's a different version of politics as it goes and gets older. I think his main complaint, but then you hear Penny at Memphis complaining about it, and a lot of guys is the politics when you get to college now is more so success doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's now moving to the bag. So like those 8 kids, they could have been like having mediocre NILs, but now that they push the program to get to this spot, it might even be a mid-major,
right?
But they offering real NIL now.
Yeah,
and like as a coach, it becomes hard, especially when you can transfer out and not have to sit out a year anymore, to where you can't really coach your kids hard because of now they can get out and lead the next year.
Right.
You can't really like set like a real development program. And then if a kid does well quickly, you also still have to worry about him transferring out.
Right. But and everything, I'm not, by all means, I'm not combating what you, but again, y'all know I'm double-sided coin, right? Well, with that same kid that's leaving, right, you might have a program that base everything around that kid. Why wouldn't that kid leave if he's the third option on this team, maybe even the fourth option? And now a team is willing to like say, hey, you are the guy. We're going to invest in you. What's wrong with that? My thing is, all these guys that was doing it before, this is where I get kind of like, come on, man. Like, you had all these guys. We had a movie about it, Blue Chips. We were given the Shaqs and these guys coming to their house, giving cars and changing the whole situation behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And this shit was going on. Well, it ain't just a movie. We got coaches at these big programs doing this. Now the playing field is level. Get your coach game up. Stop complaining and maintain the kids you got and do what you got to do.
But is it possible though?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And now if you lose a kid, go get another one.
Well, I feel like, especially with Larry Naga, he was a guy that was, especially getting a little older. You know, he's been around the game enough to see, like you say, the old school of recruiting of letters. You know, actually showing up to a parent's house. You know, investing in the kid, letting the parent know, like, yes, you know, your kid will be here for the next 3 or 4 years. You know, getting to make that All-American. You know, hey, if he can do one and done, I'm gonna get him ready for it. You know, to the point now where it's like, you don't even have what is called a program kid anymore. Right. You don't have a kid that literally has the program values that can stick around to bring in the freshmen or bring in the transfers and let them know, you know, what's the standard here.
You don't get the Baycott and what's it Marcus Page.
You don't get the Page, you know, the Baycotts, the RJ Davises. You know what I mean?
What's Brunson and all them? What they from?
Villanova.
The Villanova kids that all play very similar, and like you put them together, you know they're gonna get to that paint and jump stop.
And even so, with like Jay Wright got to a point, was like, yo, this shit's starting to get a little bit too crazy too. You know, but you know, I'm just going to see how long Hurley's going to last in Connecticut now that, you know, because it's all good when you win 2 championships back to back. When you coming in now, I think they're like top 25, maybe 20 or 25 now.
Yeah, they didn't started losing.
Yeah, and so you look like the Connecticut coach, the girls, like he got a problem with Staley. How Staley doing that thing? Yeah. Like, come on, man, she's doing it.
Them in. I mean, to where, you know, which is a whole nother topic. It's just, you know, the new Juco rule now is helping high school kids figure out now that, hey, I don't have to go D1 right away. I can go to Juco, figure out the college game for a few years and don't go against me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And make a little money at the same time too, because you're going to get a little refund check and stuff like that. So, you know, so that kind of plays into everything now to where it's hard to build a program. But it takes also being able to take kids that are not always the top 25, top 50, so in which you see a lot now with some of the programs that don't have a lot of kids that leave. I mean, every program is bringing somebody in, at least 1 or 2 kids. I mean, even Connecticut brought in transfers that won the first championship and won the second championship. You know what I mean? So
to me, it brings excitement back to the game because now, you know, just like we in college football, just to spin off, you seeing teams that was dominant getting knocked off. Alabama got knocked off. You know what I'm saying? You seeing guys getting punched at Oregon. Everybody thought they was going to win it. Punched in the mouth. Yeah. It's like now you bring it. Who wants to see the same teams in the Final Four every year? That's not March Madness. March Madness is the Cinderella that get hot and the coach is doing a phenomenal job and he just rides through and he get hot at the end and he just knock off everybody. Yeah. Who wanted to see North Carolina and Duke win all the time? Even though that's our team.
I don't mind North Carolina. Like the Duke word, I don't know. Like if North Carolina was there, I wouldn't.
Man, I like to see a little bit of mixture in that.
I dig it.
You know what I mean?
It's always good to see that program that does, you know, overachieve more than anything else, though. But once again, those are programs a lot of times that may have a few transfers, but those are kids that were, you know, really recruited by that program to stay. They have a sense of loyalty for the program, for the school. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that you're seeing that changes right now with the transfer portal and NIL deals. It's just you don't see that true blue like that. Even that true blue Kentucky, that true blue ook, you know what I mean? That true Carolina blue, you know what I mean? You know, it's just certain things you don't see.
I heard you throw the ook in there.
You know, the true, you know, Ohio State, Michigan type things. You know what I mean? You see it to a certain extent, though, but you also see where you look at one team like, yo, bro, was hoop, and then you look at, oh, damn, he go there now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What is
like
it? Haley
Roach
Van
left.
Lee. Van Lift.
Yeah. She done been to 4 different schools.
Yeah. Roach left, dude.
And you be like, oh, damn.
Like, damn. I want to say Baylor or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It sounds like you're a little more for like the transfer portal NIL blend that's happening. I know I'm not specifically most favorable for it. I guess it's cool. I think that there's some empowerment to it, but I also think that there's a lot of parts to it where you miss what you were saying.
Yeah,
where like I wouldn't mind. Like I'm so like traditionally old school when it comes. I wouldn't mind if they like push the limit to like 2 years where kids had to stay in college.
Yeah,
2 to 3. I miss seeing kids go from freshman, sophomore, junior, and work their way through it.
Yeah,
and like flourish. But like I also understand like just the way the game has evolved that isn't really going to be it. Before we get off of college with the politics part, I know you mentioned the Juco rule. So do you think that it's going to lead to more kids going junior college or more high school reclassing?
Ooh, I feel like it's going to be more Jucos. I feel like the Jucos is about to really step up. Because really what people don't realize, that's a great experience. And getting aligned with the right Juco program is going to be pivotal going forward. Like, you know, there are some very high competitive Jucos that are aligned and, you know, aligned with high D-level schools anyway. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of programs that funnel right into programs that really, I feel like it's going to be somewhat like a little feeder system.
Yeah.
You know, to a certain extent where, you know, I may go here that feeds into, you know, I may go to the Dixie State or something like that, or go out there to Kansas and go Juco there that feeds right into, you know, going to Kansas, or you know, going out to Oklahoma feeding to, you know, so I can foresee programs starting to align themselves with Jucos as well as a feeder system.
Develop your kid there and then bring them right in.
I mean, basically, they get 2 years to basically play a high level of college basketball because you're going to also have older kids transferring through the portal. Transferring through Juco to get somewhere else. So they may go to the portal. They don't get picked up. What do? Go to Juco. So now I'm in Juco and I'm competing. It's almost like going to the G League.
Yeah.
To where you see a lot of these, you know, vets that don't get picked up at the early part of the season. They go play in the G League. I mean, TJ Warner doing right now for the New York team. So she got guys that's going down there. They're getting to play. They're getting to stay in shape, getting into a program. They're getting to play within a system, getting to showcase where they are, show their stamina, their conditioning, how much they've been working on their game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can really foresee that being a tool that should be used going forward versus trying to take another year back.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to get to the same position because what's going on right now is that they're not recruiting, you know, if you're not high level, top 100s, top 150s, I mean, why not look at the level of going to Juco where I can still get film? Right. I can learn the game. And also I'm getting adjusted to the college atmosphere away from home.
Let me ask you this, since you're on that.
Yeah.
Because you hear people say, oh, now it's going to hurt the offers than high school. Do you think that? I still think they take chance on high school kids too. Well, in the mix of it. Like, you know, like offering slim.
Oh, no,
like
for sure.
You get the offer.
Well, I feel like you're still going to get the offers and getting the interest as well, though. Yeah. But also you're going to be able to help manage and also grassroots a kid now. Now look, now college can become almost like an AAU program. Yeah. I can put this kid in my feeder system and watch them develop and have basically hands-on what they're doing.
Now hold on real quick, Wayne, because people watching this. Now Wayne just coined something. If y'all start doing it, he need an NIL check, and I need some of that.
All
right, I need 5%, Wayne, for shouting you out about 5-10, but they need to cut you a check because now we just gave y'all the idea, if y'all ain't thought about it, to grassroots these kids and then push them into. So we need that money. Send it to open gym and all that, and put our names on it. All right, now back to what you're saying.
Oh, man. That's it. That's interesting, nonetheless. But yeah.
Oh.
So I guess as we continue on the conversation, as we talk about politics, pre-show we was talking about Imani Bates. You hear a lot of pros talk, and they speak about how contract time, they start limiting the minutes, especially if you're hitting certain numbers, because a certain numbers mean certain amount of money, where there ends up being a lot of politics, and where it's not specifically the best players in the league that are in the league. You hear this from a lot of veterans as well that are still like 30 years old or so, that now are forced to play overseas, that could still contribute at a high level. But there's quote unquote politics to the league. I don't know. What is y'all thoughts on it? I ain't go pro. I don't trade. I don't know if you.
No. Look, Wayne, I'm far from pro. You've been.
I got the dibble and dabble. You know what I mean? But more than anything else is like, I feel like you get to a point to where you don't fit the image of what they're trying to portray. Like, there was times where DeMarcus Cousins should have been on the roster somewhere. I mean, he went from playing a great backup role to Jokic in the playoff run to literally not sign the next year.
Yeah. Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
I'll give you another one. Do you remember how Devontae Graham started out with Charlotte under
Devontae Graham was on the same team with Bronny right now.
And come on, man, like he looked like he was gonna be it. I said, we took a chance, we drafted him. Boys started cutting up, and it's like Borrego or somebody said something to him, and he just
nah. What it was?
I'm gonna tell you what it was.
Melo.
Now they seen Trey post. He said start Devontae Graham over Melo, and he had to get him up out of here. It was
he started.
I get traction, guys. I'm telling you,
he did start the season over Melo though.
He did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not to say he had to be run out of Charlotte, but I don't.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like Devontae.
I don't feel like
he was cutting.
I don't
Carolina
feel like
guy,
was,
Kansas.
I don't feel like he was maybe a starting point guard for a playoff run team. You know what I mean? Like,
but a good backup.
Oh no, a great backup, great vet, and knock the shot down, play defense. You know what I mean? You want things like that
with that one, Wayne.
I mean,
let's look at this, and no disrespect to D Fish, but D Fish was an average point guard with a bunch of guys. He could play the game.
That was a system, though.
It was,
that was like playing for the New England Patriots. It was plug and play,
and then that's an error also.
It is, but come on, don't just do Devontae like that. I think he could have started and been with some stars. And
what I'm saying, okay, so if you just look at the top 16 teams and who started the point guard, we're talking about most of the top 20 point guards in the league.
Yeah,
but think about it.
And I guess Devontae was
you saying that, but people say always go to that, but. Let's even look at the NFL quarterbacks has won Super Bowls. It's not always the best quarterback that wins.
Oh no.
So what I'm saying is, you hurt me when you said that, because I think he could have been on a team with more talented guys and ran the point guard and just been the point guard.
But he's also not a pass first point guard.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's
a go getter, PG.
But
and where
you think he couldn't have been? You think he couldn't have been though? I mean,
that's up to him. I don't know why he's in the G League. It could be politics, or it could be because he couldn't have.
I mean, he had opportunity with San Antonio,
and then he was with the Pelicans as well.
Yeah. But after you done crushed his confidence, I mean, shit.
No motherfucker confident being trust that nigga been in the G League all year. Ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. I fuck with him. I'm gonna
I always got
from the hoop state. I fuck with him.
Yeah.
From the hoop state.
You already know.
You already know.
Me and you if we didn't. You already know how I go at it with him. Yeah, you done killed my boy, man.
Yeah, and then you can't run no team.
All right, we did. My bad, I chimed in on, but I had to try to back. I'm swinging for you, bro. Swinging for you, man.
Now listen,
if
they it's about 3 of them left inside of the Devontae Graham fan club.
Yeah,
I got Troy. He's still there.
Yeah,
I'm there for sure.
I guess put a bow on the politics conversation,
I
kind of thought about a question from last week that does tie into it. That was from another audience member. How do you avoid politics in high school where, depending on your district and if you have access to private schools, you can't choose that coach or that program?
Yeah. Hey, I'll say this and I'll let you take it, Wayne. There is ways and loopholes.
Okay.
With things. I'll just
you said get an address?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what you said. I'm trying to be discreet, but yes, you know what I mean? Like, I'll park it right there.
I don't know.
Hey, well, we wouldn't be us if we wouldn't go
there. What that nigga talking about?
Hey, don't tell
hey,
nobody.
Listen, that high school Wayne went to never use the address for a football team.
8 straight, nigga. 8 straight.
Right. Yeah.
Yo, Rangers, nigga. Number 1 8 years in a row.
Man, what? And that was you was there when that whole league.
I was there with both leagues. Yeah, I was there with both leagues. So yeah, for sure.
They ran through that too, boy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
them
games used to be crazy.
That's the rule. The rule change started because of
it
is.
Yeah. And then I heard he came from another joint doing that.
Yeah.
So it just. Hey, it
is
what it is.
It got it before it got bad.
Yeah. But he got all of it.
But I will say though, I mean, and the beauty of things is, is do your homework on what is available.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, and you have to be realistic with your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Understanding what kind of programs that you are assigned to. You know what I mean? So if there's a high standard program, you have to understand there's going to be some type of hierarchy as far as what's going on. That program is going to be ran a certain kind of way. It may be that, unless you are that guy, you 5'6", 6'7", or whatever.
That comes into play.
And there are very few of those that come out of middle school like that. You know what I mean? But there are situations. But for the most part, for a lot of programs that are elite or high level, it's gonna be a part of just playing the part. So I mean, if it may be JV, and understand that, hey, take advantage of that. You know what I mean? And understand, one of my biggest saying of all times is it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. I know as you get to high school, the clock is, turning. And you look up, it can be a situation where it's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
My child hasn't had the opportunity to play varsity yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also feel like, you definitely got to do your homework and understand where you're going. Understand that if it aligns with your goals, what you have for your child,
and find an IB school.
A loophole.
Loophole.
Keep talking to him.
Well, I mean, the best part about Charlotte-Mecklenburg, man, you got the lottery.
Yeah, you got the lottery. You got the charter.
You got the charter route. You got the private route.
But you got private schools. They get financial aid.
Financial aid. It's
if you're really good, you might not have to pay.
Many different options. Early college type of things that allow you to align yourself with different things. It's understanding the rules that when you come out of middle school, whatever school you decide to go to, you can go to legally and play there.
Yeah.
You just got to figure that out. You know what I mean? But so, I mean, to answer some of these questions is in regards to what we are, in our region, in our area, there are many different options for you, but, embrace also the opportunity to get through something. You know what I mean? Embrace the opportunity to actually, look back and say, yo, I went through the struggle. I went through the mud. You know what I mean? I had to crawl before I walked. You know what I mean? I had to, I ain't go in tryouts knowing that I was going to make the team.
Yeah.
I ain't make the team knowing I was going to get to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I ain't, so I made the team. So now I'm starting, embrace every part that comes in with that, understand the growth that goes into it.
Damn, let me ask you this. How often today, I feel like they used to be like a little bit more apparent back in the day. How often is that today? And I say that even with high school live period,
Yeah.
Tryouts is almost like a formality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To where it doesn't really leave as much room for what you're saying right there, where like you're the freshman or sophomore that worked their way in, and then you came in and like went through that whole system. As much as if you do that, it might still be 2 to 3 years away.
Yeah,
barring like a huge growth spurt or something like that, because of even a freshman coming in.
Yeah,
they typically are gonna bring them in for some version of a summer, like a summer, not summer camp, but summer like workout, stuff like that. Yeah. They even do that with like JV now.
Yeah, they do.
Like they'll bring in the freshman that's gonna be on on varsity and JV, and just have them working.
Well, one thing Charlotte Mecklenburg has done, and I know for sure we did it last year, where they actually have a period to where they allow high schools to invite your feeder schools to actually come and work out with you for like 5 straight weeks. So it allows some schools that are not, who programs are not as strong or traditionally strong, to actually, kind of get a fighting word in there for some of these kids that may be already aligned to want to go to a certain program. Was like, well, they get to come in and kind of see what you're doing, see how you may feature them. So it's almost like recruiting almost, bro. But it's like legal recruiting that they allow you to do from your feeder school. So if you're at a so-called, you're like at a garage, you have your Eastways and schools on the east side that you get to actually invite in and do a few things, you know what I mean? So that allows programs that are not, your traditional top-notch programs or traditional winning programs that have been over the last couple of years to actually now build their program up to be able to compete. So that's why you're starting to see now some schools that, were not as compatible, a few years ago. It was like, oh, damn, and that game was close. Or you actually watch it with your eyes and been like, yo, they're actually building something. And, that, and I think that's the more so what the objective is kind of even that playing field out. To where every conference you're not looking at, well, we know who's going to finish top 2, and that's what I mean. You're going to have that in certain situations because just programs are just built that way. But it also gives for that 3rd and 4th place team to really make some noise when last year they may have been in the bottom 4.
Yeah,
this is the shout out to Trey right here. Let me know your thoughts after I play this meme. Got 3 bad friends and me.
That's what Jeremiah Love did to me. What?
Y'all Parlay Killers going into the new year. Talk to us.
Man.
Going to the new year right now, let me tell you who's been a Parlay Killer. Stephen Curry, bro, what's going on right now? Like, man, I had to get down to the plus 15 for bro. He still didn't hit that, bro. I was like, what's going on?
Hey, that's Vegas. I told you the sweatshirt coming, y'all. The sweatshirt is coming, bro. When you see it, you see it. My Parlay Killer, man. The other night, no, actually last weekend, I was about to hit for like $2,000. It was that the Colts and the Giants. Oh, like, man, you got the number 1 draft pick. And you go out and win a football game.
The one thing you wasn't supposed to
that do. You wasn't supposed to do. And then you get in the press conference and you say, we got jobs. Yeah, your job was to lose so I could win $2,000. That was your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, $2,000 gone to waste. You know what I'm saying? But
that was the only money line I took too.
Yeah, the Colts.
With the Colts, I was like, the Giants have to lose. Like, if you, I mean, I know sports ain't supposed to be rigged, but if you're trying to accomplish the goal of getting the number 1 pick.
But I went back and looked at that, Wayne. People talk about, the people like to say I'm a conspiracy guy. But you go back and look where all the money was on the spread and the money line. 92% was on the Colts to win. Yeah. So that's easy money for Vegas.
Somebody made a lot
of money. Man, that's easy money. Because that, to be honest, when I put my parlay together, I checked that off. I ain't even looking at those stats. And I'm like, they got to lose. Yeah. And think about everybody that did that. They got to lose. Man, shoot. Man. They made money off that. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the, who was that? Was it the Bills that beat the hell out of? Like Come on, man, that hurt too. I thought the Jets was gonna at least give y'all a game. I'm like, it's gonna be like a 7-point or a field goal.
These might be Aaron Rodgers' last games that we see him.
He might not even get a quarterbacking job next year, man.
Sheesh.
He take some time off from basketball, for football for a while, just to kind of just get his life together.
Do commercials, Aaron Rodgers. Do commercials.
All right. So I
got
guess
some shout outs.
Yeah, about to say before we get out of here, Coach Trey's hitting gyms. Talk to us.
Hey, look, man, I just got some shout outs because again, I'm if I ain't pulling up, and I try to pull up to a game at least twice a week, and then I go on NFHS and I'll look at, some of the kids is being talked about. But that damn Didnt Neal, man. Man, look, we gotta talk about him, man. Like, look, bro, and I always said, and I told his dad, I said, man, and I don't like to look at that. I'm like, man, I wish he was 6'4". Man, it would even be spookier. But he doing it at like what, 5'9", 5'10". Like you can't do nothing with him. Like
he's
and I think Reedsville brings in D-Rich TV. He did a little thing on him.
Yeah,
I meant to throw it inside of here. But
Hollow football players too.
Man, that big boy.
But you got to think. You got Cam. If y'all remember Cam from CP3, he played football. He playing college football.
You got Johnny, off receiver, right?
Yeah, you got Johnny. What's his name? Janias. That's what I meant. You got Janias. Football.
Yeah.
You got obviously Kendra. Football. Didnt.
I mean, you got to think about these guys have played
at least they top 4.
No, you understand. Like, so they're juniors now. Right, they played in 4 straight state champions between football and basketball, bro. Like that
battle tested.
That like by itself is it's amazing, bro. Then the fact that they're both highly compatible in both sports.
Yep.
Man, and kudos to where they come from. Because I went to Juco up there in Reedsville, and it's a small town, but
you could tell they take it serious.
The city shuts down when the football. Man. I mean, when I was up there, bro, like on a Friday night, you ain't no restaurants open.
Yeah,
football game going on.
I heard
they show up for their school, bro. Like in basketball, the same way, man.
And they put out a product.
And they been putting out products, bro. So it's like you gotta respect the small towns as well, bro. So definitely shout out to them, bro. Like
shout out to him, boy.
That's 2 years back to back they won John Wall. That by itself is just
it don't look.
I mean,
fair.
I think they about to work on their 3rd year for states right now.
Man, it don't look fair. Shout out to Didnt and his daddy trainer. That boy going to get it. Shout out to Chad. I looked at a couple things. We already gave him a shout out, but week by week I'm looking at guys, man. Chad, he's one of my favorites up there. And then I had one Jordan at Rocky River. He had a breakout game a couple weeks ago, man, and he putting it together. I want to say he played at EA Prep. And he looked good, man. And Kamari Cook, man. I was looking at him, pull up jumper, looked great. Floor general, real swift with the basketball. He dropped some crazy dimes last night against West Charlotte. I don't think they pulled it out. And last one, Chacho, the little freshman over there playing varsity.
West Charlotte.
He's so humble, man. He walk up to me, hey, coach, how you doing? Like he just some of these kids get beside themselves. Even it's good that y'all got egos and basketball egos, but don't forget the people that really support y'all or you try to give you a word of encouragement in those adversity times. You might see these kids at tournaments and stuff might not go their way. They might have lost and they sitting in the corner. And when I see those kids, I'll walk up to them. I'll be like, hey man, you played a good game. Like, just give them some words of encouragement because you don't know what the coach might have said, what the dad might have said. But shout out to Chacho. Like he turning it on. He's stretching out. And all he got to do is get stronger. He gets stronger. And he gonna be a problem. But yeah, shout out to those kids. I don't have your IG handles, but just go on there and Chacho Womack, Didnt Neal, Chadlin Trailer, y'all know him. And what was the other one? I said one more.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. Jordan. I can't think of Jordan last name, but he played at Rocky River, point guard, lefty.
And where I guess I'll kind of like say these next 2 weeks, and we're Charlotte-based podcast, that 3A, 4A, it's about to get really interesting. A lot of fun matchups coming down in Charlotte over these next 2 weeks. It's going to mean a lot for the conference. I'm sure y'all gonna see Charlotte go viral a couple times. Of course, the biggest rivalry in my mind in the city, the North Mech Chambers game, that's coming up.
When is that? When is
Friday? It's Friday.
This Friday coming up.
Yeah, you got Hopewell. Hopewell's they're looking really good this year. I think they might have just had their first loss.
Yeah, they lost against Charlotte.
And like they'll be playing North Met coming up. They'll be playing Chambers coming up. That's going to be big. Again, Chambers undefeated in the conference. They'll be playing North Met. They'll be playing Hopewell. They'll be playing West Charlotte, Mallet Creek. All of these are going to be like rivalry-esque games in which they call us, they call us the Hoop State. And you're starting to see a lot of people chime in. And I've even heard some of the guys that run some of the channels speak about even like the Charlotte area as the mecca in the state of basketball. And again, this is not to discount like the Reedsvilles and like the Southern Durhams and the Millbrooks that's out there.
Yeah.
But the concentrated talent inside the area inside, especially that 3A, 4A conference that we have here, and how competitive it is, especially once you get to like them top 5-ish teams.
16.
To where like you get a run of like a 2-week span where every matchup, or you might have 2 matchups where there's like highly touted D1 prospects. Like again, if you go from Chambers to North Mech to Hopewell to West Charlotte, like there's D1 prospects on every single one of these ones.
Yeah.
And like Hoop State is about to kick off. The mecca of the Hoop State is about to kick off a really, really fun, interesting conference season. And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that Hopewell West Charlotte game was like real intense, like you said, like because it's, it's kids that's familiar with each other. So it wasn't like, Hopewell been kind of like putting belt to ass to some of these
guys. A lot
of
teams,
And then it's like, nah, y'all ain't doing that to us though. And they showed up with the best performance for that night. I left like a little bit after halftime, but I went back.
I watched the replay. It was them last 5 minutes they came back.
Yeah. I seen them making way though.
That young West Charlotte team, shout out AC.
Yeah.
They ain't stopped grinding. They kept playing hard and left it out there. That's one thing you love to see about the city of Charlotte, bro. Just the competitive nature of everybody, no matter if you know them or not. You was doing your shout outs. I was like, man, I'm just blessed to see these kids just grow, man. Just started just seeing some of these kids when they were just 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade to where they are now, man. And just seeing their matriculation, bro. It's just a blessing to see it, from all of them. But like you say, man, it's big weeks coming up, not only in the 3A, 4A conference, but, in the Southwestern 4A, you got some big games coming up on, it's about to get to the grit, the meat of the season.
Yeah.
And,
Independence, you got not Palisades. Well, Palisades is okay.
Yeah.
There's another team. Who does Braden play for?
Audrey Care.
Audrey Care. They got a kid out there that's hooping.
Olympic.
I think he just he tied like 5th inside Charlotte Mech inside like high scores of like all time. I think it was like right under Isaiah. I can't remember his name, but
I gotta check him out. I'm gonna check him out.
Yeah, like,
what do you know his name?
I can't remember it right now.
I'll go look at Max Prep. He probably leading scorer.
Yeah. No, but they're looking very good.
Yeah, that conference.
You're looking at Olympic looking very good right now. So I mean, it's a lot of different teams also. And would have been the meat of the season. And a lot of things can go up and down for a lot of different teams.
Hey, shout out Queens Grant. Shout out to Victory Christian as well. The Ambassador. That's another big one inside the city. And obviously, like our preps, you got the Carmel Christians, you got the Country Days,
Providence Days,
Davison Days, where again, just in this vicinity, it's such a mecca to where it ain't hard to find a good basketball game.
Oh no. I mean, even shout out to Sugar Creek Charter over there doing their thing on the high school level too. You know what I mean?
They
I try to keep up with a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I didn't know they was really getting to it.
My guy Will done built a nice little program over there. You know what I mean? So You know what I mean? I'm just, like I said, I enjoy just the hoops in the city, period, bro. Like, we just named off, we just went through like public, private, charter, all that.
And my bad, Wayne, I think this would be great for you, right? You more tapped in with the girl side. Just some of them programs. I know that we've had somebody last week wanted us to talk about Rocky River Girls.
Oh no, Rocky River Girls. She's doing a great job over there with them. She has a great group of girls that kind of started last year. They made a little run towards the end of the season, but now she brought in some freshmen. Nice little guard play right now. Like, she's really kind of. I mean, they have a good. I think they go maybe 7 to 10 deep over there. You know what I mean?
What teams would you say is like the top 3 to 5? Like an unbiased, like
what you hear, and not in any order.
Yeah, not in any order.
I mean, just what I've seen with my own eyes this year so far. I mean, Lake Norman has been, very competitive. Watauga has been competitive, of course. Mallet Creek and North Meck has been very competitive this year. Rocky River is having a good year.
Are they undefeated, Rocky River? Or
I think they may have only lost 2 games this year. I don't want to get them taking anything away from them or anything like that.
No.
Chambers and everything like that. So it's just looking at different things going on out here, bro, to where it's going to be very interesting to see how the season portrays and plays out.
Shout out to Coach G too. I rock with him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Cheeks over there too, right?
Yes, sir.
Chambers got a good group of girls as well. The injury bug hitting them a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
But they got a good group when it's time to make that run. I think they're going.
Shout out to Cheeks. Give me them parlays, boy. I post that parlay on Facebook, boy. Sometimes he do it, sometimes he don't. Cheeks, where you at?
Bro, probably sitting right there checking the parlay right now. Like, bro, I hope the Ravens ain't BSing right now.
I hope the Ravens pulled it out because they showed enough was in it tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's what I was saying more than anything. I'm just praying that a lot of teams get healthy. A lot of times during this time of year. Midway through it's not even really midway through the season, but getting to the second part of the season, with the conference play and everything kind of kicking in. You want to see teams, get healthy, but of course, with a lot of games being played, you're going to see a lot of things start happening, the weather changing, people getting sick and all that. So, it's going to be based on how you really kind of coach your team up, your program, how everything's kind of set up. To really get you through those moments where you may be without 1 or 2 players, or like, in a sense like us, we were out about 4 or 5 at one point in time. So, but just praying for health and getting back healthy to get to a very high competitive level, knowing that's going to be a big couple of games about to come up right now. So by the time this probably airs, we probably going to be play about 2 or 3 of them. So we're going to definitely be seeing, how things played out for us and, and everybody else as well, because I mean, on the girls' side, it's even tougher.
Yeah.
This is one of the top conferences on the girls' side as well. When we talk about, top 5, then you got, the Southwestern 4A with Butler playing very well over there. Definitely got to mention Butler. Butler's playing very well.
Yeah, my boy Ollie over there, Coach Ollie.
Yeah, Butler's over there. You got Hickory Ridge doing very well. So, it's a lot of teams that, traditionally you may not think, as far as name-wise, that are really out there doing some good things this year so far. So shout out to those programs and those coaches, and you're looking forward to see how the season plays out, bro.
Yeah, yes sir. So shout out to them girls programs. Glad you brought that up. We ain't knocking it. We love y'all, and we're gonna start. I'm gonna do my research on the girls.
Oh
too,
yeah, bro.
I know you on that side.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna try to figure out who's the who's too over there.
No, it's a lot of hoopers in the city, bro. We on the boys and girls side, so it's good to always acknowledge.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to do, because I get hit up about that.
I feel like and I know we will do going forward. We're going to definitely have to touch that women's side, that college basketball as well.
Yeah.
Because right now some good basketball.
That girl from Notre Dame, my favorite.
That whole the backcourt period, bro. It's 3 of them.
I'm going crazy. What's her name? Keone?
Keone. Oh yeah.
She the one.
Then you got Sam.
She inside that juju class for me. Like,
she and one basketball. Yeah. She and one basketball.
She is baby Kyrie out there. And she's at the perfect school up at Rutgers, bro.
Do what you want to do.
But when I say that, because look what they else got on the boys' side. You got Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
But
Harper over there. So it's like,
think about the last time we talked about the Rutgers.
Yeah,
that's a perfect situation to be in.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You know, they're making some noise up there. So I mean, it's definitely, it's going to be good to kind of tap into some more of both sides of the basketball. We know the male and the female side, because I mean, we hoop state on both sides.
Yeah.
Hell of a hoop state on both sides. But I mean, even shout out to my girl Zam out there at NC State. Her been coming from the small school at Pitt, whatever it's, Pitt school and everything. She out here doing that thing out there. So it's good to see, these young ladies out here, man, striving as well, man.
Yeah, keep doing.
All right. So I guess that's been our update on the hoop state. Nonetheless, from coaches to casuals, grassroots to the league, this is Open Gym. I'm Coach Q.
Coach T, who I be.
Coach way too nice, baby.
Shout out to the Instagram handle. Make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe. Follow us, Open Gym.
Yes, sir.
Is it Open Gym Podcast on Instagram?
Yeah.
It's a lot of great conversations happening inside the chat.
Yes,
a lot of agreement, disagreement. Again, we don't know it all.
No.
And again, you might have something that works that goes differently than what we say.
Let
us know. Talk to us. We just can talk from our experience.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to build this basketball community of dads, coaches, and everything in between.
Yeah.
With that said, we out.
We out.
Peace.